Okay, guys, so I'm here to answer your questions. Excuse me, little throat thing. I'm taking a little water here. No alcohol, okay? So as people are logging on, I want to touch on a question that someone had related to cruciferous vegetables. They wanted to know, does consuming cruciferous vegetables increase or decrease your estrogen? Okay, so because they see it as a phytoestrogen, like a plant-based estrogen, so they're concerned, oh my gosh, if I consume cruciferous, I'm going to become infertile, whatever. Cruciferous, it doesn't give you any more estrogen. It actually balances out estrogen. It shifts from the bad estrogen to the good estrogen. There's several different types of estrogen. So it just lowers the bad and increases the good, the protective, because certain estrogens tend to cause cancer and certain are protective against cancer. So cruciferous is highly protective. So that's just one thing that it does. So I hope I clarified that. But we got quite a few people. We have 700 people on here, so I'm here to answer your question. Is grilling really bad for you? It's not too bad as long as you don't add any type of sugar. If you're using if you don't get if you don't put any lighter flame and lighter fluid on there, and you just actually have it over like a grill without any sugar, it's going to be totally fine. It's not going to be an issue. There's some data about like burnt meat. Is that going to be a problem, or burnt fat? It's mixed reviews on that. There's nothing wrong with having a crispy, piece of fat on the grill. I wouldn't worry about it too much. But I will say that adding sugar and then adding to that heat and that protein, and you caramelize it or you heat it together, it creates something called advanced glycation end products, and it makes sticky blood, and it creates all sorts of issues. Okay, so can you speak about lipomas? Lipomas are one of those things that are benign. They don't do anything. They just sit there. They're just kind of a nuisance. I have not been successful at getting rid of them naturally. So honestly, I probably would have them removed surgically. There's some links to a liver problem, but your body's probably trying to protect something in that kind of the fat cyst. All right, so let's see here. I have been bleeding for months and feel weak. What's happening? How can I stop it? Well, are you bleeding from your nose, from your mouth? Where are you bleeding from? I need to know that. If it's a menstrual problem, then you need to buy a product. It's online. It's through standard process. It's called Utrophin PMG. Utrophin PMG, standard process. Okay, so what's your thoughts on Hebrew beef franks? I'm not sure if it's organic or grass-fed, but I would highly recommend doing grass-fed and organic together. Okay, how long should I expect to have spiked glucose levels after starting keto? Well, keto should not spike your glucose unless you're doing something incorrect. There's a couple things I want to talk about with keto. When you're starting out, if you just go to my site, drberg.com, and you download the plan, I actually show you how to do it, like really simply A to B. But a lot of times there's so-called keto-friendly foods, but they have maltodextrin, which has a glycemic index of 110, or dextrose, or tapioca starch, or syrup, or maybe even, what's another one, maltitol. All these are going to spike your blood sugar. So I'm not sure what you're doing, but your sugar should come down. Okay, is it okay to take cruciferous when you have a hypothyroid condition? Good question. It depends. If you have a Hashimoto's, which is really an immune problem, you need cruciferous more than if you just had a regular hypothyroid condition. But most hypothyroid cases are secondary to either gallbladder issues or high estrogen. To be safe, I would just take one sea kelp tablet in the morning and eat your cruciferous. But the benefit of cruciferous is huge. I mean, protective against cancer. It's going to help detoxify the liver. There's a product called DIM. I have it in my estrogen balance with added DIM. And DIM is an end product of indole 3-carbinol, which is a phytonutrient from the cruciferous vegetables, which is very unique to cruciferous. And this end product called DIM, one tablet is about the same as 2 pounds of cruciferous vegetables. And so what it can do for you is it can actually really bulletproof you against a lot of problems. And so since cancer is like the #2 cause of death, you want to start to protect yourself and you want to start eating more cruciferous or do DIM, one or the other. Let's see, I've been doing intermittent fasting 4 hours to 6 hours. I'm guessing that your eating window. Oh yeah, staying under 20 to 25 carbs a day for 6 months. Lately, while walking 3 miles, my knee has been in a lot of pain. Very simply, for knee pain, you need about 30,000 IUs of vitamin D3. Then you want 300 micrograms of K2, MK7 version, okay? So 30,000 IUs of D3. That will knock your pain out like that. But if you, let's say for example, you have knee pain on the right side, and it's on the outside of that knee, okay? Then what you could do is you can massage on the opposite knee, on the left side. So you work on the opposite side and work on the outside of the leg. It's the fascial area. It's called the tensor fascia lata, iliotibial band. And you just work on the outside of your thigh muscle on the opposite side and gone. If the pain is on the top of the knee, right where the quad connects to the patella, then you work on not the outside of the opposite leg, but just the top part of the leg, the middle part. So you just kind of, you mirror image, but then you work on the major muscle that attaches to that area. How can I lose weight and be a healthy vegan? Well, it's more difficult. You're going to have to do more calculations with making sure you have enough protein, keeping your carbs down, keeping your fats up. I do have like 1 or 2 videos on that, but it's a bit more difficult. And plus you're going to have to take supplements like DHA, B12, things like that. Maybe some iron, vitamin A. Okay, I just gained so much weight since the removal of my thyroid, and plus I'm heavier periods now. I never before working, but okay, so you just gained a lot of weight. You just had your thyroid out. Yeah, that's a situation because, but the good thing is that you're going to have to make adjustments with your thyroid medications. The thyroid doesn't just produce T4. It actually makes several hormones. So I would get Armour thyroid, which is a little bit better. Doctors don't like to use it because it's hard to adjust, but that's what you need to do. And I would probably also take some bile salts. I have a product called Gallbladder Formula that can help, but the bile salts help convert thyroid hormone and it actually enhance the medication that you're taking a little bit better. Okay, so then is fruit sugar bad for you? Yes, it is bad for you. You know, if you're a small child, fruit's okay if it's organic, but as you get older, our metabolism gets slower, and I would recommend avoiding fructose. Fructose creates a lot of problems, especially if you want to get into ketosis and get the benefits of that. You can do some berries, but definitely not apples or peaches. Okay, 29-year-old, body fully crashed, but extreme heartbeat from 1 to 8 a.m. night while I'm relaxed. Sleep is shallow, waking up a lot. Okay, so if the heartbeat is going higher, okay, so let's say your pulse rates are going higher, You need more potassium, you need more greens, you need more magnesium. You might need B1, okay? So that's gonna be really important. If your sleep is a problem, the B vitamins will probably handle it. But I also would try vitamin D as well, minimally, to get the benefits of, to get these benefits of vitamin D, you need to take it with a meal, and also you need to take it with some fat so it gets absorbed. Now, someone asked a question about when are my products going to go into the UK? Well, you know, it's so funny. I'm working on that as we speak right now. We're going to start with like 4 of our main products, and then we'll get more in there. But it's just transition. Okay, what do you recommend for dietetic studying students? So, what is the best way to improve knowledge? Any source would tell us. Well, are you going to school to be a dietitian? Honestly, I think you'd be better off being a clinical nutritionist. The dietitian data that they teach you, honestly, is pretty pathetic. But if you just want to learn for yourself, there's various courses that you can take on nutrition online. But I'd go in the area of clinical nutritionist. I am coming out with a basic nutrition course in August. So that's a kind of it's going to be pretty awesome, but it's not going to be compared to some, course that you're going to learn at if you actually get your certification being a nutritionist. Okay. My urine test shows positive ketones. Why am I not losing weight? You just gave me another good idea for a video. Positive ketones, thank you. And I'm not losing weight. Good. So let me answer that. Let's say, for example, people have this idea like, okay, ketones in the urine, I'm losing weight. Well, ketones in the urine means that you're burning fat, but it could mean that you're burning your dietary fat, okay? The food that you're eating, the fat that you're eating, and not your own fat. So you may need to adjust your fats down a little bit. And if you really want to see a bigger change, you want to get it down to about 75 grams of fat per day. And then cut your carbs down a little bit more because the weight loss is more about the whole package and understanding that you have to get healthy first. And things will kind of stop you. Hidden carbs, hidden ingredients, and the biggest thing for most people, especially if you're of the age of 40, you may need to go 1 meal a day. So many people have not experienced the big results until they start doing the one meal a day, and then they start really seeing the change happening. So try that. Can mercury toxicity cause panic attacks? Absolutely. Dr. Berg, I'm waiting for my wheatgrass juice shipment. Currently drinking apple cider vinegar. How long should I take this? Okay, so you just take your, you want to be taking your apple cider vinegar for a long period of time because it's really good. Put it into your, water when you drink, if you're drinking at a meal. It can be done on an empty stomach as well. The wheatgrass juice powder, what I do is I'll take a scoop in some water. Probably, I don't have the size of it, it's probably 16 ounces in the morning. With, I will do, our dog's gonna bark, someone's actually coming in our house. And I would take 1 scoop of the electrolyte powder, and I'll mix that up, drink that down in the morning, boom. I just had the wheatgrass juice powder tested for some antioxidants, some additional ones, and I found that it has superoxide dismutase, which is an enzyme that is a very powerful antioxidant. And so it's loaded with that stuff. So I was like, this explains why it's so good for healing the internal skin or ulcers or any type of inflammation in your gut. So interesting. Okay, so then the question is, Can you update your purchasing website online to allow for different billing and mailing addresses? We're working on that right now because what we flagged it. Like if you actually enter in, you order a product and you ship it to another address, it gets flagged because we had some scammers, you wouldn't believe this. We've had people like order $5,000 of product and ship it to another address and basically, just selling it to different, they're not authorized to sell it. So there's all sorts of scams going on. So we actually have a red flag with that right now, but we have a solution. Okay, so is crystal meth and hard liquor bad for a 90-year-old man's health? Well, no, it's totally fine. I don't see a problem with that. Especially you have to mix it together and then add a little cyanide in there and you'll be good to go. Okay, I'm a vegan for 3 months. My period is 2 weeks late. Please tell me what to do. Get checked to see if you're pregnant. Okay, next question. My wife's, okay, that was the sarcasm. So what I would do is I would take sea kelp. Sea kelp helps to regulate the period and it'll help your ovaries. Okay, my wife has water retention. How should I deal with that? Very simply, it's so easy. It's like you just get on keto, get on IF, your fluid will go right down. Your water follows wherever the sugar goes. So if you're retaining sugar, carbs, you're gonna retain water, okay? Very simple, but you can add some more potassium and that should push the water out, but you really need to cut the carbs down. All right, so let's see here. All right, let's see here. How much sauerkraut per day? 1 cup. Sauerkraut's awesome. I'm really into fermenting things. I just have the easy fermenter. I'm just really into it now. I'm just gonna start experimenting and doing more for sauerkraut and fermented vegetables. Really good stuff with that. Let's see. Is it possible to retain fluids in love handles? It's probably actual fat more than water. Okay. What can I do with my digestion? Is gone to every 2 days since keto. Okay, so you're kind of backed up. You either need to increase or decrease your fiber. I don't know what you're doing, but you need to do that. Sometimes people, when they do keto, they do too much protein and that can constipate them. Sometimes they'll add too many nuts. That will constipate them, or dairy, that can constipate them as well. Is there anything I could do to put weight back on without messing with my blood sugars and bread? Yeah, well, what you can do is you're gonna have to get your calories up. You're gonna have to do like maybe 3,400 calories per day. So do 2 meals a day. You're gonna have to maybe push your carbs to about 50 grams per day. Because a lot of times, people that are really thin, they're doing this, and their carbs, when you evaluate them, is like down to like 10. And so they're losing a lot of weight from that. So, and they want to work out. So you want to just do those 2 things. Can a gallbladder heal from stones with keto? Will it help liver stop making stones? Well, there's one thing that causes stones, and that's excessive amounts of insulin. Cortisol will do it. Lack of friendly bacteria will do it. Lack of bile will do it. So if you do intermittent fasting and you're actually adding more fat, you're going to increase more bile, and that's going to help you. Will it dissolve your stone? I don't know, but it's worth a shot, and I would definitely get some gallbladder formula just to kind of support that as well. Advice for food after an alcohol addiction after 10 years, only big belly and fatty liver. Yeah, you need to be doing foods high in choline, and choline as a supplement. Egg yolks would be good. A lot of greens with that are loaded with potassium and sodium are important to support the liver. A moderate amount of protein, not high. You just got to do the healthy keto and IF over a period of time, but it's going to take you a good 3 years to restore your liver. The other thing is you need nutritional yeast because the B vitamins are going to be very important in restoring the liver. Alcohol depletes B vitamins. What do you think about Institute of Integrative Nutrition? I think they have way too many theories. I think there's 100 presenters or something. So you're like left with all this data, but they don't emphasize the vital data versus the trivial data. So it's all just like, hey, try this and try this and try this. It's like a massive confusion. So I actually do not recommend that program. Okay, on my egg carton, it says 1 egg equals 70% of my DV of cholesterol. Well, that might be true, but think about this. Your body makes cholesterol, and when you eat more, it makes less. So our bodies make 3,000 milligrams of cholesterol a day. That's 14 eggs every single day. If you make more, your body just will get rid of it. Okay, I have a hiatal hernia, and I've been taking meds twice a day for acid reflux. What can I do? I just released a video